has started.
Okay, we'll start again. I'm Laura Rassmussen. I'm one of the owners of Three Kittens Needle Arts in St. Paul, and the store has been in existence for, well, since I think 72, so however many years that is. My business partner and I purchased the store in 2006, and we have both yarn and needlepoint, and I would like to show you a quick little video of our store, and I think Lindsay's going to share that. So Lindsay, whenever you're ready for that. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, so that was just a quick little brief video. I want to say that I personally knit, crochet, needlepoint, do some weaving, and I'm an avid sewer as well. So, anything that has to do with needle and thread of any kind, I'm all over it. Um, so the reason that I decided to do reversible cables tonight as a demo is that I just came out recently with a new hat pattern. This is called the Brule hat. My family owns a cabin with a couple of other people on the Brule River in Wisconsin. Yay, Wisconsin. And so I came up with the Brule hat and the Brule cowl, and they are reversible. So you get the same pattern on both the front and the back. It's great for the cowl because, when you're wearing a cowl, and I'll just put it over this, sometimes you see the inside of the cowl and sometimes you see the outside. So that's why the reversible cables are really nice for this. It's not as big of an issue on the hat. It's just that, I would not turn this hat inside out, but it just happened to work out really well. So reversible cables are not difficult, but I thought it might be a nice little demonstration, and I'm sure that it is not up on our in our Dropbox yet to add to the room. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen and share the video from my computer. So give me just a second and I will do that.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I can do
lower
that.
For you, it's at 50%. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it right now. Okay. All right. Can everybody see that? I mean, Lindsay or Hillary, tell me how it, I mean, it's just black right now, but
Yes. I can see
okay.
it. It's just black. Mhm.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, it's Laura from Three Kittens Needle Arts. Today I'm going to be showing you how to work reversible cables, like the cables that I have in my Brule cowl and Brule hat. These are very simple reversible cables. They're basically 2x2 cables. I have them offset in the pattern so that you have a cable on this row, and then if you go up a few rows, you have a cable on the next row, and so it's an 8-stitch pattern repeat. It's again, very simple cable. The one thing that you need to know about reversible cables is that they're always done on a ribbed fabric. So this fabric is a 1x1 ribbing. You can see that down in the bottom here. It's knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, all the way across. So I've set up my my swatch here so that I can show you the next set of cables, which I'm about to do. I've got a stitch marker on the front side so I can distinguish it from the back, which is definitely helpful when you're doing a fabric that's reversible and looks the same on both sides. You can also have a fabric that is reversible but different on both sides. I am not teaching you that today. I don't really know how to do that, so just do the simple stuff. So I'm going to do ribbing. So I've got this set up with 20 stitches, 2 8-stitch repeats plus 2 edge stitches on each side. So those are my 2 edge stitches. Then I did my cable down here on the first set of 4 stitches. So I'm going to those 4 stitches and rib, and then I'll be ready for my next cable. So basically this is a left cross cable, so I'm going to be holding my my yarn to the front. So I'm going to slip 2 stitches onto my cable needle. This is just like doing any cable that you've ever done before. Then I'm going to knit one, purl one from the left-handed needle, and then knit one, purl one from the cable needle. I'm going to do my next 4 stitches in ribbing. And then I'm going to repeat that cable. So slip 2 onto the cable needle and hold in front of the work. Then knit 1, purl 1 from the left-hand needle. And then knit 1. So split my stitch. Hold on a second. Try that again. Knit 1, purl 1 from the right hand needle. And then I've just got my last 2 stitches. Right. Then I'm going to, so I've completed 1 row of the reversible cables. Let me knit a couple of rows so you can see. I'm going to knit 3 rows and then we'll be able to see what it looks like. Okay, so I've knit my few rows, and now you can see the cable that I just did was on this row here. And if I flip it over, they're on here as well, here and here. So that's basically how you do a reversible cable. Now I'm going to do another cable row, and I am going to show you how to cable without your cable needle. I would not suggest doing this if you are working on a fabric. Let's say you were doing your cables very like with the edge stitches. I would not suggest doing that because it's much easier to drop a stitch and much harder to pick it up if you're on the edge. So again, I've got a 2-stitch border on both sides. It's just ribbing, so I don't have to worry about that here. So I'm going to do my 2 rib stitches, and then I'm going to go into my next cable because it's time to do the cable on the first 4 stitches of the row repeat, or 8-stitch repeat, sorry. So to do this, I'm going to go into the back of my work and insert my knitting needle as if to knit into the 3rd stitch on my needle. Now you will notice I'm not going into the front of the stitch, I'm going into the back of the stitch because it's really hard to, I mean, I suppose there's a way to do it. You could dig into here and go like that. But I don't really know why you would need to do that because nobody's going to see the stitch that's going behind the front cross of the cable. So I'm knitting that one, and then I'm going to drop all 3 stitches, the 2 that I skipped and the one that I went into, off my left knitting needle. So I've got 2 live stitches here. Oh, look at that. I went into both of those stitches, which is not what I meant to do. Let's try this again. So I'm going to go into the 3rd stitch on the needle and knit. Then I'm going to drop all 3 stitches off the left-hand needle. I've got 2 live stitches here, this one and this one. But I need to do this stitch next because these are, let's pretend these are on a cable needle, even though they're not. So I'm going to purl this next stitch, then go back, pick these 2 stitches up onto my left-hand needle, and then I can knit 1, purl 1 off of that. Now I've got to do my 4 rib stitches, and then I'll be ready for the next cable. All right, again, I'm going into the back of the 3rd stitch. So this is a knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch. It's in the back of the knit stitch. Because this is a left cross cable, I need to go in the back so that these first two stitches cross on the front of the cable. And then you pull all the stitches off, knit your next stitch, then flip those live stitches that are just sitting there back onto your left-hand needle and knit and purl. Now, there are some caveats to this. I would not suggest doing this in a silk or a cotton. I'm sure you can get the hang of it, but you're likely to drop some stitches. I would also just that finer yarns like fingering weight might be a little bit more difficult. The key is to practice on a swatch. You know, I've just got a swatch here. This isn't anything important. Always try to practice on your swatches before you go into your actual project because, you know, it's better to practice on something that doesn't matter than it does on your big project. I want to also show you, so I'm going to take these ones back out, and I will show you if we were doing a right cross cable that that normally you would put it, so, well, here, let me just get these stitches back on. If you were doing a right cross cable, normally you would, and it's a 2x2 cable, you would put your stitches on your cable needle and hold them to the back of your work. Then, sorry, I have this on. Then you'd knit one, and then you do that from the back, from the cable needle that you've been holding to the back. So knit one, that way your cable crosses from in this direction, so it's slanting to the right. So let me take it out again, and I will show you how to do that without a cable needle. Okay, so if you're doing a right cross cable without a cable needle, you're going to take your right-hand needle and insert it in the third stitch from the end on your left-hand needle into the front as if to knit. And then pull all 3 stitches off your left-hand needle, roll your next one, and then you're going to, I'll leave that here for now, going to go to the back of your work and insert your left-hand needle into those 2 live stitches. And then you need to knit one. And then I'm just going to go to the end of the row, and then we'll look at what the 2 cables look like. All right, so I've got my left cross cable here and my right cross cable here. And that's how you work cables without a cable needle. I will also say that if it's a very complicated cable or a very big cable, let's say it's a 4x4 cable, I'm less likely to use this knitting without a cable needle method. I feel safer with the stitches on the cable needle, but I don't love using the cable needle, so anytime I can use this this technique, I try to do it. There you go. That's our demonstration for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Hi everyone, it's Laura from 3 Kittens Needle Arts. Today.
Thank you, Laura. That was good.
Okay, I'm not really sure how to get out of this unsharing. Sorry.
Here,
Oh, thank you.
sorry. Didn't mean to.
No, that's good. I'm glad you did that because I had no clue.
Good.
So
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to open up the chat so I can just see if there's anything. Questions. Of course, if I have the chat open, then I can't see anybody's hands if they're raising their hands. All right. Well, I don't see anything, so I hope that was okay. I will tell you guys that Melissa Leitman, if you don't know who she is, you should know who she is. She is a national instructor. She is one of the most prolific knitting and crochet designers out there. She's got over 1,000 patterns in print. And she is fabulous. She is a good friend of mine, and she is going to be teaching on Zoom for us January 2nd, reversible cables, and she's going to actually be showing you some complicated cables and different cable patterns on the front and back of the fabric. So kind of magic in my mind. I probably have a picture that I could show you real quick, but I don't know. Hillary, I think, has something that she could, a link that she can put in the chat for info on that. Did I give you that, Hillary? Nope, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, unmute. Melissa Leitman, I believe I do. Let me hop back over there.
Would we sign up for that if we wanted to attend that? Is that through your shop or?
It's through my shop. Yep. Yep.
Oh, shoot. It's not on here. I will grab it.
Oh, thanks, Hillary. I'm sorry I
Yep.
missed that one.
Yeah.
So I'll let Hillary do that. And then I was going to show you guys a couple of other cable projects that we have here in the store. We've got another design that one of my employees did, doing reversible cables as well. This is the MAB scarf, and Hillary does have a link for that. Let me just see. Here's my little sign, MAB scarf. This is a pattern that was created a number of years ago, and we don't have the yarn anymore. She made it out of a sport weight baby alpaca, but I think it would be beautiful in any sport weight, or if you went up to DK and worsted, it would be wider. You just have to change your needle size. I don't know what the needle size is off the top of my head. This is available on Ravelry. Hillary does have a link for that one. Super simple but elegant pattern. So I also want to tell you guys that I do have, for my Brule hat and cowl, we have a kit available on our website. That is $87. It's enough yarn for all three, for both of the patterns, which is 3 balls of yarn. It's made out of Added which is an alpaca nylon blend. Merino nylon blend. It's super soft, and because it's a super bulky yarn, these knit up so quickly. You can do this hat in a night, no problem. Last minute Christmas gifts, anybody? And you get both patterns for free with that kit. So that's available on our website as well. I'm throwing things fast and furious now, and I'm not sure if Hillary is going to be able to get all. Hillary put the link to the Brule hat and cowl up before we even started the presentation, so that's already in there. I don't know if anybody noticed what I was wearing in the video, but this is a Coco Knits Maker's Keep. So it's a magnetic bracelet, basically. So, and she's got some, Coco Knits is owned by a woman named Julie Weisenberger, who also does a lot of patterns on Ravelry. And so these are all magnetic. They just attach right on there. She's got a bunch of different stitch markers. As a matter of fact, I brought over to the table the flight of stitch markers because I love this box so much. Oh my God. Look at, you get stitch markers for all these different shapes and sizes. They're triangle ones. You guys, if you have not tried triangle stitch markers, they are the bomb. They are absolutely the best. People always ask me why I say that, and it's because it's easier to get your needle into the stitch marker because it sits up high above your knitting needle. I love them. Just love them. The Maker's Keep is $20.25. The cable needles, the Stitch Fixer, those are both $6.25. So this is a Stitch Fixer. It's kind of like a little crochet hook, but it's got the crochet hook up on both ends. So you can pick up a drop stitch and garter stitch very easily with this. I don't know if you've ever tried that with just a regular crochet hook, and it's a little fumbly. But with the crochet hook on both ends, it's much easier. And then that flight of stitch markers is $25, and it's just so cute. I can't help it. I like it. Um, and then Lindsay really wanted me to show you guys Sam the Ram. If you like cables, oh my God, Sam the Ram is the best. So this design was made by an acquaintance of mine, Rita O'Connell, back in the 90s. So here's the story behind that. We used to both go to the Minnesota Knitters Guild meetings, and one month they decided to have a toy contest. So a few of us, not very many of us, but a few of us decided to um, create a toy and bring it in. And she came in with this. I came in with a really wimpy little sheep. I mean, obviously she won the contest hands down. And this pattern has been in print ever since then and just continues to be um, sold all the time. You can buy the pattern on Ravelry. He actually has a mate, Sue the Ewe. So Sam the Ram and Sue the Ewe. Sue has cables as well. Well, she's got one cable down her back. And then, I don't know if you can see that because it looks like the lighting is kind of bad, but oh, there you go. And then she has a pretty lace scarf or shawl on. Let's see if I can show this. Trying to set Sam and Sue up on the side and not knock them on the floor. Not that they haven't ever been on the floor, mind you. So we have kits for both Sam and Sue. And here's the deal with the shawl pattern. You can make this an adult size. All you have to do is just keep going and make it bigger and bigger. It's, yeah. We have kits for both Sam and Sue. They're $41.50 each. And they come in a few different colorways. So the original colors, this yarn that they were originally made in is no longer available. But we have Rama Fennel PT2, which is a Norwegian yarn, and we have similar colors. So we've got kits in either the white or the cream with either a brown for the face or in legs or dark gray for the face and legs. All of those kits are available on our website. So, and I believe Hillary's put a link in for those. I am always happy if people get stuck on Sam and Sue. I answer questions all the time, even though I have not made them myself. But there are a ton of people who've made them on Ravelry, so that's always a good resource as well. Other cable patterns. You know, when I was walking around the store, I mean, there is a really beautiful poncho behind me that's got cables in it. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Of course, I can't remember. I know it's made out of Dawson by Sugarbush, and it is one of their patterns, I believe. So you can look up Sugarbush yarns. They're out of Canada. The yarn, again, is Dawson. Hillary doesn't have a link for that, so yeah. But anyway, that was the only other cable pattern I could really find in the store right now. We don't have a lot of cable samples. A couple of my employees really like them, but they haven't made samples lately. So I brought this one, even though this is not a cable stitch. This is a sock. It's called the Fogile sock. It's one that I designed earlier this year for what was going to be our shop hop that got canceled due to COVID. So it's a twisted stitch pattern that creates these diamond shapes. And so I've got this pattern, and I also created a crocheted hat for the shop hop, but I didn't bring that over here to the table. But this yarn is fabulous, you guys. This is Trippin' with Dixie, which is a local dyer here in Minnesota, and it's called Migration. Migration has yak and silk and merino wool. I mean, can't get better than that. Super soft, lovely. I figure with the silk in it, it's fine for socks because silk is pretty strong. I have not run through the balls of the feet on my pair of socks yet, so you know, you can always use reinforcing thread if you're a little nervous. And I brought some of the colors to the table of the different migrations. So we have 2 exclusive colorways here in the store. We've got Red Cross and we've got fatigues. Our theme for the shop hop this year was inspired by decades, and our decade was the 1940s. So we have Red Cross and fatigues because of World War II. So, and then I brought some other colors over to show you because they're just really pretty. She's got a great eye for color. I will say I'm not sure about some of these super variegated ones like these 2, how they would work in that faux guile sock. I think you would lose some of the patterning, but these are great for a shawl. They're 450 yards, so there's plenty on there for a shawl. $29.50 for a skein. Here are a couple of other colors. And a lot of the colors we have in stock right now are one of a kind, so they won't ever be dyed again. So,
Laura, do you have, was that one called Jet Fuel?
Just Jet, I think. I
Jet.
don't know if I've got Jet. Hold on, I'm just seeing. No, I don't think I've got Jet right now. I kind of get what she has when she brings them in, unless I order specific colors. Did you get that one?
Yes, I did, and I love it.
It's so pretty. But I just love her colors, and like I said, she's a local designer. I like to support the local designers. So, I mean, not designers, local dyers. So, and in case you're wondering what those, how you spell faux guile, there you go. Yes, faux argyle. I had to come up with a different word. That's the way I am. And hey, everybody, I wanted to give you a code for a free pattern, one of my free, my personal designs on Ravelry. Hillary's going to put the code in the chat. It's Yarnsie20. This will not work on Sam and Sue because I did not design those. These are just for the patterns that I've designed. For instance, the scarf that Hillary is wearing is one of my crochet designs. I've got a lot of designs, well, not a lot, but a few designs out there. So if you want a free pattern, that's available until December 15th. So check out those designs.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. We appreciate that. That was really nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll get that code in just a sec. My senior kitty is demanding lap time. So.
That's okay. We're cat people. Well, I know Hillary and I think Lindsay, do you have a cat? I know you've got dogs.
We have the 2 boxers.
Yeah.
And we have a child.
Yeah. Next, I wanted to show you guys the Morton cowl because this is probably the most popular thing in our store right now. We've got a couple of different versions. No cables, but all slip stitches. Super easy to make. It's knit flat. You only work with one color in a row. So even though it looks woven, it's super simple. So you're going to knit with one color, and on the next row you're going to knit and slip, and that's all there is to it. And like I said, knit flat, and then you just seam it at the end, or do if you did a provisional cast on, you could do a 3 needle bind off or something like that. And the pattern is available on Ravelry, but we put together some color packs for it. So, of course.
So, Laura, that looks like it's 2 different weights of yarn.
It is. Thank you for saying that.
It was a really cool texture because of that.
Yeah. So it's Malabrigo Mecha, which is a bulky weight, and Malabrigo Machita, which is a fingering weight. And that's where you get that kind of cool texture, and then the slip stitch just adds to it. So the kits are, and again, I'm sorry, I have these kind of for myself, but also to show you guys Morton cowl in case you're wondering what it was by Cornelia Tuttle Hamilton. The color packs are $36 each. So I'll just show you the different colors that I've got. I'm really digging this one.
So
I love
I
that.
thought it was really pretty. Boy, my table is getting really messy here. I got stuff all over it, you
What
guys.
colorway was that one? Or what was the
Uh,
name for it? Or how do we
this
know which
one,
first?
yeah, this one is
What's her name?
Jupiter and Cello.
Thank you.
You're
Ooh.
welcome. We've got some more subtle ones too. Here's the thing. I've seen this made up in a bunch of different colorways, and I have not seen anything that's ugly. I've seen it with the bulky yarn as a solid, semi-solid, and the fingering weight yarn as a variegated, and vice versa, and it always looks good. I like this one too. This is water green and Indicida. I'm really digging this one. I love chartreuse in anything, and this
those
is
are your colors.
I know, right? Hillary and I go way back. She knows. This is Frank Ochre. I have a whole sweater out of Frank Ochre, so yeah, what can I say? Can't come right now, sorry. There's somebody at my door trying to get me to come to the door. I can't do it. This is a much more subtle variation, but again, like I said, I have not seen anything that wasn't pretty.
Oh, that one is so pretty.
So that one is Dewberry and Galaxy. And then if I can find them, I'm going to show you those labels.
And a
That
quick question, the sample one, I'm dying to know that one sample that looked like it was darker. What was the color on that, if you happen to know on the top part of that one? Yeah, what are those? What's in that one?
so the fingering weight is I don't have.
I'm sorry, it's okay if you don't. I'm just curious. I love that comment.
That's Machida 894, and then the Mecha is 048. And I'm sorry, I
Okay.
think
I can figure it out. I'm a bit of
yeah,
a
I can't remember.
Malabrigo
Yeah.
freak.
All right. I'm going
Thank
to
you.
look. Oh, here are those labels. All right. These are the labels that Hillary posted something about. These are from Australia. They're Kylie and the Machine labels. So this is handmade. And these are, you get 8 in a pack for $6. Yes. I just ordered some new ones. They're on their way, and one of them is, I don't have a sample of it here, but it's okay, I'm just going to swear for a minute. Wear the shit out of me. Except it's SH star T. Yeah, I can't wait till that one comes out. I'm going to have to buy it. This is the back. So I think that, no, you can't buy this. I've put this on a couple of things that I've sewn because, yeah, you definitely can't buy it. This is a little take care of me label. It's not, these things aren't really accurate, but it says, look after me, treat me with care, use common sense, wash only when dirty, mend me if I break. And here's my super favorite one. Made with love and swear words. That one gets used.
That's the picture I posted a couple of days ago.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this next one, yeah, I'm not going to even show it to you. It's been discontinued. It says hands, needles, yarn. I'm going to have to ask her to get that one again because, yeah, that one should not have been discontinued. Me made. Handmade. One of a kind. Almost at the end of these guys. You are loved. I like this one too. Perfectly imperfect. And then we have a couple. One, I don't have a sample in front of me. One is Nana Made Me, and one is Grandma Made It, or something like that. Those are very popular as well. So, and then the only other thing I've got, you guys, and really, I mean, we're gonna have lots of time for questions if you got them. Is I wanted to show you guys the shawl that I'm wearing. This is called the zigzag scarf, and here I'll tilt my camera down a little bit so you can see it better. It is a free pattern on Ravelry by Christy Cam, and we decided it originally called for fingering weight yarn, and I don't even know what size needle, maybe a size 4 or something like that. Well, we did it, our shop sample, out of DK weight yarn on size 6 needles. We didn't change the pattern in any way other than the needle size and using heavier yarn. And we made it out of Rocco Medina, which is a cotton acrylic. Just looking on my things to see if I wrote down. I'm sorry about these plastic bags. They're going to make some noise probably. Cotton, acrylic, and viscose. And we've put together a few color packs. So the color pack, the one that I'm wearing is actually this colorway, which is kind of hard to believe, but it's also another one of these things where I have not seen a color combo yet that I didn't like. So the kits are $59, and I just made some new ones this morning because we had sold out. So there you go. I have this colorway. And again, plastic bags. It's hard to see the colors, but it is what it is. And then this colorway, which has that kind of mustardy acid green that I like. So you will see that a lot in the things that I wear and the things that I show. So that's really my whole presentation today. Oh, I have one. Yeah, I wanted to show the little shawl pin that I'm wearing as well. It's hard to see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just trying to get it up closer. Okay. So this is really interesting. This thing costs $4.70. It is super cheap. And it is just a little spiral. It's going to be hard for me to do this with one hand. You just spiral it through your stitches. You connect them. This is what it looks like outside of the shawl. But super simple. You just spiral it through. And then you can spiral it through some more if you want. And kind of arrange. And there you go. So we've had those for years too. Those they just keep sitting, so why not just keep getting them? So
love that.
There you go. Does anybody have any questions?
Any thoughts?
Not a question, but I just wanted to say I've been doing your cable needleless cables here on a little bit of wool, and that is really slick. I'm really excited about this.
Yay.
Yeah,
But I can definitely see where you need like really sticky yarn.
Yes.
And you have to be like you're sort of trusting that through the back loop to kind of hold those stitches while you're working the next one. So it's not the kind of thing that you would start and then get up and go to the kitchen and come back and expect it to still be there.
No. Absolutely not. You know, it's kind of like if you've ever done twisted stitches, it's kind of like that, but just on a slightly bigger scale. So, yeah. And I'm sorry, I meant to tell you guys if you wanted to work along before I showed the store video to cast on, 20 stitches and do a few rows, and I completely forgot that. So, oh well.
Well, now we have the video. We can watch it again and do it again.
That's right.
I'm going to be brave and try it with 4 just to see if I can do it with this sticky wool that I have.
Yeah, why not? Like I said, if you, try it on a swatch, and that's what you're doing right now is just playing with the swatch. So it's worth a try. I will try it anytime I do cables. I will try it on my swatch, and if it doesn't work out, then I know better. So, but I highly encourage you, since we have time, let me see if I can find a picture of this new pattern from Melissa Leitman that she is going to, and she's teaching this class course. Oh, I do have the picture. So let me see if I can share my screen here. Not sure if this is going to show up or not. There, can you see that? Yes or no?
A
No?
thumbnail.
Oh.
Okay, that's not what I want. I want a bigger one. I'm just not familiar with blue jeans and how to make it do what I want it to do. So here, let me my screen, and then maybe Lindsay can talk me through how to get that picture bigger. It's just an image, so I've got it opened up on my computer.
If you'll click share your screen, and then click here to start sharing the screen. It's the very top menu option, and that will show whatever you have up on your screen. So if you want to pull that picture up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sorry.
It's okay. Trying to get it to open up. I don't know what all this stuff is. Maybe if I get rid of some of this other stuff, you'll be able to see it. Nope, but you get to see the elephant that I saw in Africa years ago. Okay, let's see. That's the picture I want to show. Maybe it'll show up. Don't know what that did. There it is. So you can see she's got a staghorn cable on one side and just columns of little cables on the other side. I just think that's crazy.
Wait, that's the same scarf?
That's the same scarf. So
Oh
this
my
is what she's
God.
going to be teaching. I mean, she's not teaching this scarf specifically. This is a new pattern for her on Ravelry, but she is going to be teaching this technique, how you can have one cable on one side and a completely different cable pattern on the other side.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Yes, I agree.
And it's not a tube that she knit in the round and
It is
flattened
not a
out.
tube. It is not a tube. It's just knit back and forth flat. So anyway, if you want to learn how to do this,
Wow.
Melissa is fabulous. She's been teaching for Vogue Knitting Live since the pandemic started. So she's got the whole Zoom thing, or I'm pretty sure it's Zoom that she uses down. So she'll be able to, I know this class is great. I had one of my customers has already taken it from her in a different venue and said it was fabulous. So if you want to learn more, if you are a cable fiend, this is for you.
I just reloaded that the class information in the chat, so it's right at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, I'm excited about that. I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen some done like that, but not as well as that. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I definitely want to look into that one. I'm a little bit of now. I'm curious. How exactly did you do that?
I know. Well, I tell you, obviously I have a little experience with some reversible cables, very simple reversible cables. And she sent me the pattern ahead of time so I could try it out. And I'm completely stuck. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But so the class is going to be good for me too.
Okay.
Although I may get a private tutorial tomorrow. So.
I get that, especially when you're like, I've got to figure this out. I can't sit here. I need to know. I think it's funny.
It helps to be friends with some of these national instructors. I've been lucky, being in this business for as long as I have, that I have made some really good friendships, and she's the best. So
good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Also, So Jennifer, are we going to try it?
Well, it's one of those things where well, I'm not sure I'd have the patience to stay with it for like the whole scarf, but I sure as hell want to learn how. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she does not teach that in the class. Let me see if I can. I
But
mean,
even just the concept, you know.
yes, exactly.
I keep
So,
I keep looking over at my dog who looks like he's going to throw up.
oh no.
That's going on.
Let me just see if I can pull up
Good times.
the class on my computer and share it with you, because I think it shows perhaps the actual swatches that you will be making.
And how long is the class? I'm sorry.
It's 2 hours. So I'm going to share my screen again. Hold on. You guys are just getting me the whole blue jeans thing. So this little picture here, I know, I'm sorry, it's kind of small, but I don't think I can make it any bigger. But that's the swatch you'll be doing in the class. So it's actually, I think,
Pretty
a little bit more
impressive.
complicated. Yeah. But you don't have to do the whole scarf. You just get to learn that. So,
Wow.
so there you go. Yeah.
I'm
Does anybody else have any comments or questions?
just impressed.
I know Lindsay's happy because she got to see Sam the Ram and Sue the Ewe again.
I
She's been
know.
slightly obsessed with them.
I admit, they're on my list. Like they are my next. I have to finish this extravaganza to call it, But that is definitely. I'm trying to decide which one. Sam goes first or Sue?
I don't know. Oh, the one thing I didn't say about the kit, I mean, it says it on our website, but there's not yarn in there for the shawl, because we figure everybody's got a little leftover fingering weight yarn in their stash that they could use. So
That's
there
going to
you
be a great size for my dogs too. If maybe
And you know what? It's only 3 skeins of yarn.
Really?
Yeah. So this yarn has, it's going to be in meters on this. I can't remember off the top of my head what the yardage is.
Here, I'll translate.
175 meters. So you get 2 of the main color and then 1 of the contrast color. So it's really not that much yarn, but there's stuff to the gills.
How many meters was it?
165.
Oh, 165. All right, let's see. 165. So that's 180 yards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Surprised. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was
it's sport weight yarn, so your needle size isn't very big, and they're stuffed full of wool roving. So they look pretty big, but they're not.
That's probably a good idea to
You
stuff
can
them with
use regular batting, like quilt batting or whatever, but they are sheep, so wool would be best.
appropriate. That's a good point. It might actually be fluffier for longer than some of that cotton and all the rest of that kind of poly.
I mean, he's very firm, and he's 20 some odd years old, so yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. He's done some other patterns as well. Rita O'Connell, look her up on Ravelry. These are the only 2 patterns that we distribute for her. So.
Thank you for sharing those, because I admit when I saw this, I was like,
oh, here's Sue again, just in case.
Adorable. She's even got the little ruffly.
She does. She's got ruffly legs.
She's styling.
And I don't remember what this pattern is called. And they have different horns, of course. Sue's are smaller. Here, I'm trying to get the shawl off of Sam, who I accidentally tied the shawl onto, but whatever.
She's good.
So his horns are much bigger.
I love how their directional changes. It really makes it look like their body parts, like the way that the pattern's done. It's really
They're very cleverly written. We went through the whole pattern, Rita and I don't know, 2 years ago, and updated it all. So it's fully charted. but also fully written out if you don't like charts. And everything was checked and made sure that it all made sense. I mean, back in the early 90s, we didn't write patterns the same way that we write them now. So there were some changes that needed to be made, but it's all good.
Thank you. I
And
really appreciate you.
you do not actually get the patterns. You get a code to download the patterns on Ravelry with the kits. The patterns are like 25 pages long. So, yeah. So there you go. Just letting you know.
We're having a small group.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need like a herd of these, like, run through.
Well, I've had people email me and say, well, can I make it bigger? And like, sure, use bigger yarn and bigger needles, whatever needles the yarn calls for on the label.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. I don't know how much yardage you'll need, but go for it.
Yeah, I'm
Why
going
not?
for that size though, because I'll never get done.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, I don't know if I told you this, but my youngest son, who's 23 now, when I bought the store 14 years ago, he said, "You have to make me a Sam." And I said, "Oh, sure."
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter was like, and I was like, okay, I'll have to look back because now she put it on our Christmas list. So now it's like a forced time constraint due.
I would not count on getting this done by Christmas. I'm just saying.
Well,
Pretty
Christmas
fast.
list could be Christmas 2022
Good
There
point.
you
or
go.
2026. I mean,
I also bought a needlepoint stocking, just the cuff, to do for my 23-year-old son. For some reason, he's the one who always wants something, right? That's not happened yet either. I have the cuff. I have all the threads. Just not happened.
You make me feel so much better. Like I was like, mommy has
Oh,
priorities, but Santa I know comes first Christmas. So
yeah.
so I have another question. So you're like sitting in your shop right now. So what we
I
see
am.
behind you. Okay. So right behind the right side of your head on the top row is a blue and red and orange, but mostly yellow skein that is just screaming Big Bird at me.
Oh.
What is that? Yes.
Yes. This is Appalachian Trail. It's by Trailhead Yarns. They're out of Canada. Yay, Canada. And they only do non-wool yarns because she's allergic to wool. So this is a cotton and nylon sock yarn, basically. I mean, you can use it for anything.
Yeah.
It's this is called Vegas Baby, this colorway.
Okay.
And it's 435 yards, fingering weight. Hold on a second.
Bryce, I thought you were going for the blue with the yellow.
It's $28.25 a skein. It's on our website as well. And this is a little sock I made, not out of that colorway, although it's very similar. This is the Pride colorway. So just made a little ankle sock out of it with a rolled cuff or whatever.
Okay.
So,
And that the one that looked like Big Bird that was called Vegas Baby.
Vegas Baby.
Okay.
That
Okay.
fits.
Anybody have any other yarn that you want me to show you, or talk about any of our samples that are up there or anything?
I'm dying to know the blue with the yellow on the very top row, next to the pink. Yes. What is that?
Okay, so we love hand-dyed yarn here. I mean, who doesn't, right? So this is Tenderfoot 8020. It's by a company in Montana called Polka Dot Sheep. And this color is called Unagi, Unagi. And it's not really blue, it's like a gray and yellow.
That is pretty though.
I mean, it's got like a tinge of blue maybe, but it's really more gray. Fingering weight, 400 yards, I think. Yeah, 400 yards. We love these guys. They've made a bunch of we have a bunch of exclusive colors with them, none of which I have in the store right now, so I can't show you. But
Incredible. I like that
but
combo.
they're
And
fabulous.
the name of that yarn again?
Tenderfoot 80/20. I don't think we've got any of our exclusive colorways.
That is fabulous, though. Hillary, any recommendations?
Well, I was just gonna say,
Oh, you're muted.
does anybody do crochet? Because I do have a crochet. Okay, well, Hillary does.
Cheryl
Of course.
does. I know.
Okay, give me a moment. I'll go find the crochet pattern that I did for that.
Yes.
I love that colorway. I with that. I like that. Now I'm like super curious. Maybe Sam reinvents himself. My daughter's like, this is not the color I asked for.
I was thinking maybe I should be able to camp in her store there because I don't think I'd want to leave.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and it's light and airy in the daytime. There's big windows and tall ceilings and it's really
She's got needlework supplies that I haven't seen for years.
Yeah.
So I brought two projects over. These are both former shop hop projects. So we always do a knit project and a crochet project for the shop hop. I usually design both of them, almost always. It's just easier than trying to hire somebody. Hillary's showing a shawl that, it's a scarf that I designed for another thing that we do called the Progressive East End Project. We did it as a mystery knit along this year. Normally we do it as a, kind of like a mini shop hop, but it went so well this year that we'll probably do it again next year. So that's a crocheted scarf, and then we did also somebody else designed a knit scarf. So anyway, but for polka dot sheep tenderfoot 80/20, I designed this little cowl that's crocheted, and I'm trying to get it. I can't really see my picture, so I can't tell how well you can see the stitch pattern, but it's a Mobius, so it's it's got that single twist in it. Sorry, my tag's kind of getting in the way, and that stitch pattern. I like interesting stitches, so this is a hat that's also done out of tenderfoot.
Ooh,
So
I like
this one is called the Mystery Date Hat, and both of these colors I'm sorry, the background color was one of our exclusive colorways. We don't have it in the store anymore. And then the stitch pattern on the front was just something I made up and I just liked the way it kind of did this kind of ropey look.
It looks like little bird feet.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure, here's the thing with designing things. Sometimes you forget what the heck you did.
Yep.
But it's all written down in the pattern, so I don't really have to remember, right? But I'm sure that this is a slip stitch pattern of some kind, so that you don't have to carry two colors in a row, because I wouldn't do that for shop hop because there are so many people out there that don't do stranded knitting of any kind. So I'm always looking for things that are easy, but kind of different. So, polka dotted sheep, tenderfoot 80/20. I mean, there's just so many things out there that you can make because it's 400 yards. So Ravelry is your friend, right? I hope you guys all know how to use the advanced search and all the filters that they have. If you don't, explore it. Those filters are fabulous. And because, it's really hard when you pull up crocheted hat and you get 300 pages, so you got to use those filters on the side to, do fingering weight,
Laura,
Yeah.
do you have the medic hat?
I do.
Oh, the medic hat was uh, designed along with the Fogile socks. So it's
Yeah,
that
so
Tripping with Dixie.
yeah, this is the one in the fatigues colorway. So it's just a little, and this is not I have another version, but I don't know where it is. It's someplace in the store out of the red colorway, the red cross colorway. This one is like a beanie style, and the other one, because it's larger, is more slouchy. So yeah, again, super simple stitches. That's what I do. And sorry about my jingle bell. This is not a design element. This is our very high tech way to keep people from walking out with our
Best to
samples,
time
which
system.
unfortunately happens sometimes. So.
Mm.
So again, very simple stitches. This is just single crochets and, you know, I don't know. There might be some half doubles in here. I can't remember. So,
That's a beautiful yarn too. I like
yeah.
that. Different.
So any other questions? Now that I've taken hats off of mannequins and stuff?
Okay. You know, if we didn't shake down a few mannequins, this wouldn't be Camp Yarnsie.
Yeah.
True.
Does anybody like to knit socks?
Yeah, Cheryl
Yeah.
does. I say I'll do
Okay.
occasionally,
Hold on.
unless it's not a
I like to do one sock. It's the second sock.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I am there
That
with you.
sounds like Sandy from last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that second sock syndrome?
Yeah.
Yes, and except it was sleeves. She
Oh
had a
yeah, that's
sweater.
right.
Same thing. You know,
Yeah.
the best way to avoid that, and I don't do this, but this is what I've heard, is to do two at a time. I've done it before, but it's not my favorite method. I would prefer to just knit in the round. But so this is unique sock, and it's self-striping. This is just the yarn that does this. There's no color changes in this or anything. And they have a couple of new colorways, new for us colorways that I thought you guys might be interested in. So first of all, it comes in a box. It's two little skeins in here so that you get exactly matching socks, because some people don't like to have socks that don't match. I don't get that either, but whatever. So we've got this one. But then the two new colorways that they came out with this fall are Tigress
Ooh, I need that one. I'm not a Tiger
and
fan. But.
Zebra,
Ooh.
which I had to buy because I wear a lot of black and white. So I just figured, I should have these. So yeah, I don't remember what the price is on these. I didn't look at the price tag, and there's no price on
What
it.
was
But
the brand or the name one more time? I'm sorry, I
it's
missed
called
that.
Unique Sock.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it's
put it
by
in the
Earth
chat.
Yarns.
No, thank you.
Pardon me, Hillary?
I put it in the chat.
Yes, you did. Unique is by Earth Yarns. Earth Yarns is out of Turkey, and the story behind them is that um, it's a Muslim community, and the women are not allowed to work in this community, except they get around it at Earth Yarns because it's knitting. And so they're able to gainfully employ women who would not normally be able to work. The other thing with Earth Yarns is that they plant a tree for every skein sold. So that's really cool. Both of those things are kind of cool things. Yay for women empowerment and for taking care of the environment. So.
Super. Oh,
And I just heard today that I was just talking to the representative today. Because of COVID, they've had to shut down their warehouse here in the United States, and now they're shipping everything direct to us from Turkey, but they're not charging us the shipping from Turkey. They're just charging us as if they were shipping from the distribution center here, which is really nice of them. I have some other yarns that I get from Europe, and shipping from Canada. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, shipping from Canada or shipping to Canada, super expensive. So, yeah.
That is nice of them. I'll say that 'cause a lot of people are trying
When it comes to shops like yourself, for the most part, all I can do is drool.
Yeah, I
Because
get it.
because unless I spend $100 or $200, it's not worth me having it shipped because it's going to cost more in shipping than it is to purchase the merchandise.
And then if it's over like $200, then it might get held up in customs, and you might get charged for customs charges. So,
Oh,
No, I don't get charged for custom charges, but they will hold it and to make sure that the declaration that is on it is what's inside.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that. Hey, I don't know, just to give a shout out to a store in Canada that I really like. Well, I really like the owner. I haven't been to the store. Montrico in Montreal. They're great.
That was another one.
So,
Was that the one on that have a ball crawl?
yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucinda Iglesias is the owner, and she owns it with her husband, and she does all of her like Facebook lives and Instagram posts and all that stuff in both French and English, which I think is really cool. And yeah, and she speaks Spanish too because of her heritage. So
Yeah.
impressive.
Her Instagram feed is just so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I have Instagram envy of some people. I just don't have Instagram time. So
That's really a commitment.
yeah, it is. It is.
Fine. Y'all
So
have
is there
a question?
anything anybody else would like to know, or?
I'm curious. It seems like you have a lot of yarns in that it seems like I might be the only one. A lot that we haven't seen before. Is there one particular skein in there that you have to own at the moment that's maybe not a
Me
normal?
personally?
Yes. Curious what your
There's not, but we do have a house brand yarn, and I can show you that really quickly.
that'd
If
be
you'd like to
nice.
see.
It's okay with everyone? Sorry. Because y'all all dislike yarn so much, right?
So what was the name of that, the one in Montreal again?
Montrico, I put it in the chat.
You're awesome.
Yeah, that was an incredible store too.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a house brand yarn that I developed with a mill in Pennsylvania, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. And here's the story behind it. I have an employee who's been with me for a really long time, Cecilia. She is now our officer. She used to work on the floor years ago, and but she helped me in the office. And she is allergic to merino wool. Yeah, just merino, mind you, not any other wool. If she touches it, her fingertips start to burn. If she tries to wind it on the ball winder, she starts to have problems breathing. So, merino is ubiquitous in the yarn industry right now. There's so much merino out there, but we as a store are constantly looking for non-merino wools, breed-specific wools to bring in and show our customers, because there are so many other wools out there that are beautiful and have a great place in our, I don't even know what the word is, but you get what I mean. One of our favorites is Blue-Faced Leicester wool. If you haven't tried Blue-Faced Leicester, I would definitely recommend it. It's almost as soft as merino, but it's sturdier than merino. When you get a super soft yarn like merino, well, when you get merino, you lose some of that sturdiness that other wools have. It's going to pill more. It's going to break more easily. I remember a pair of socks I made once back in the early days of owning the store out of 100% merino yarn, and I my bad. I didn't use a reinforcing thread. I ran through those in less than a week. I wore them twice. You know, that's not going to happen with some of the sturdier wools. So anyway, I would just highly recommend trying other ones. But we worked with this mill in Pennsylvania to create our abstract yarn, which is a blue face Leicester and nylon blend. It's great for socks, shawls, what have you. I looked at the painting by Kandinsky called Circles and Squares, and I chose the colors based on that. And then our mill got the yarn from England. The blue face Leicester wool is from England, and milled it to our specifications and dyed it to the colors that I wanted. And we've since broadened our color range. Unfortunately, right now the mill is having lots of issues getting their production done because of COVID. They have less staff and have to have less people in the building at the same time. So we're running very low, but I'm hoping to get more maybe in January. But you can see some of the colors here. And again, some of the colors we're just out of right now, so it is what it is. So.
Thank goodness Tegan's not in the room with me. She'd be like, oh, pink, mom, yellow, mine.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the only colors we have right now, except we have a off-white, which is undyed. But yeah, I do like this yarn a lot. In terms of yarns that I really wish I could buy some of right now, but I can't, we have a brand new yarn in the store.
I'm a yarn addict, you know.
So,
y'all are all looking at me like,
this yarn is by a hand dyer out in Washington State. The way she chooses who she's dyeing next is you ask to be put on the waiting list as a store, and then when you get off the waiting list, she lets you know, and then you can place your order. So I have no idea when I'll get my next batch in. I'm on the waiting list, but it could be February, March before I get it in, and we're getting so low already, even though we haven't had it here for very long. So this is Sugar Plum Circus BFL Sport, and it's 100% BFL and 287 yards. We had sweater quantities in a number of colors. I think we don't anymore. But remember that MAB scarf that I was showing you? This one? This yarn would be fabulous for this. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, yeah, I know this is my favorite. Could you imagine that scarf out of this? Oh my God. This too, but this.
I'm really enjoying you, Laura. I really am.
I have sweaters. I have clothes in that color. Yeah. Yeah. What can I say? So anyway,
I want to try it. I think I've been wanting to try that color. I would need like maybe the like almost getting that in a the Malabrigo one,
the Frank and Morton cowl.
Yes, and then maybe having that as the offset, or and I'd be working that in like that. I'd be willing to try that to work into that.
I didn't like to use chartreuse, but then I went to a Stitches convention back in probably 1990 or something like that, back in the early days of the Stitches and BK Live, well, even before BK Live, and I did a color class, and I was kind of like, ooh, who would want to use that? And the woman who was doing the color class told us, you should always have, if you're doing color work, you should always have an acid color. And I started using this, and it just grew and grew and grew, and now I just can't get enough of it. So.
That's a good point, yeah.
We also do that when we're trying to select yarns for our yarn bins. We try to always have an acid color, even if we don't think it would sell. Like, you could consider this an acid color because it's not going to appeal to everybody, but it's going to make the other colors in the bin look better. So.
That's so true.
So there you go, guys. I mean, we're at 6:26, so I think it's, well, Central Time, 7:26 for those of you on the East Coast. So if
Thank
you don't
you
have
so
any more questions, I think that's it. And I will be back on Sunday for another demonstration, which will also likely be pre-taped. But, oh well.
It's been fun. Thank you, really. Thank you, Laura, for coming to Camp Yarnsie today. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this
Thanks,
is
Lizzie.
great.
Thanks for asking me.
And I
Thanks,
have a little
guys.
list. I made a list.
Yay.